Let's build some intuition today, guys. So if you're new to this channel, I probably am the guy who focuses a lot more on building intuition rather than just telling you or explaining you the solution with some examples. So here what we do differently is we not only write solution, obviously we have to do that, but I also give you very nuanced tricks on how to read in between the lines and how to actually even identify that this question demands XYZ data structure. So let's solve this new question today, valid anagram. So even before reading this, what I recommend a lot of people to do, or in fact what works best for me, is just look at this function definition first. Like, this type hinting tells you a lot. So it tells you right off the bat that you're getting two inputs. First is a string S and another is a string T. Both of them are like strings, and like this is something that you get in as an input. The output that you have to return is a boolean, so you probably have to return true or false. So just by reading this one line, I have probably understood what this entire block of text wants me to say. But now let's get more into the details. An anagram is a word or a phrase formed by rearranging the letters of different words or phrases. So typically using all original letters exactly once. So roughly speaking, what you really want here is that, let's say you have A here, which repeats 3 times. You definitely want this T to have A to be present 3 times. Or in other words, you want to have the count of a specific, let's say, a word to be equal to the count in the new letter. So just by I probably tried to drop a few hints by saying the word count at least 1,000,000 times, but what matters here is just the count. So that's probably a hint for us to make use of hash map, or maybe use a dictionary. So there are several ways, and there's actually a much faster way, which I will probably let you know by the end of this video. But now let's build it in a different way. So count S, let's name our variables in a Pythonic manner. S count and T count are going to be 2 dictionaries. So I hope you have a rough idea now what we're doing. So in effect, what we want to do is simply compare the count, or simply have a counter object on these and just see if they are equal. One case that you need to maybe check for is is the length even equal? So if in case you find that, hey, you might have if length of S is not equal to length of T, in no way you're going to have an anagram. Right off the bat that, hey, this is false, and you can simply exit, and you don't need to do these unnecessary calculations. So now once you've figured out and you confirm hey, they are of the equal length, now let's initialize our dictionary variables and get the party rolling. So we'll go step by step, that both of them are of the same length. So for I in range length of S, you can write S, you can write T, any which ways, it doesn't matter. Now what you have to do is S count of S of I. So basically you're creating a key with this alphabet A or with this alphabet N. So you're trying to create a key. So a better way, so now you might run into errors. So if you are not familiar with this .get method that we actually run on these objects, I'll give you some idea here. So what might happen, let's say A is not there, A is not in your S count. So you need to, a naive way to write a code would be you'd keep checking if S of I in S of count, if it is already there, then you will probably go there in S of count, grab that variable, and then increment the count. Else you will have to create a new key and initialize it with 1. So to get rid of this hassle, this is a very syntactic Pythonic sugar that you can make use of. What you will do is, and to make it even easier, see guys, if this is a little bit tricky, you can always write it as schar or current schar. It's okay to have big variable names while you're learning, because The point here is to not, write production level code, but to actually build intuition and learn these concepts. So for this, it's going to be T of I. Okay. So now just to make it much clearer. So S of count of current S of char. What you do is this will be S count dot get current S char and return 0 if that is not there. So if this is not there, you will simply return 0 as a default value. If the key is not there, it will still return a default value of 0. And then if in case you were to have like 2 or 3 already there, you just add 1. You do the same things. So you do t count current t char. Let me copy it from here, is equal to t count dot get this thing. You do the same thing plus 1. Cool. So you go through this entire list, or string. So you go to the string S and T all together, and after it's over, you just have to check, are they equal? So you just have to return. So you can always write like this. See, there's this way of writing. If S count is equal to T count, return true, else return false. But is there a better way of writing this? Yes, like whenever you write like things like double equal to, what you get in return is just like a boolean. So it just evaluates this and the output is actually going to be true. So how about you directly return S count equal to T count? That's it. And this is exactly the code. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry guys. Okay. That's okay. You can forgive me for that. Yeah. And this works. So you did so much work to implement this, but I hope like you have built the intuition where we kind of felt the urge to keep track of the occurrences, or like the total number of count for a specific alphabet, like A for N, and you just had to compare, like if A is having equal number of count in S as it does in T, then yeah, return true, you're good. And the only way to figure this out is by just having these counter objects and just equate them and see how do they evaluate. Now is like this syntactic sugar from Python. How many lines did we write? Like somewhere around like 16 minus probably 2. So you can just write like one line, guys. Like there is this library called counter. So you can from collections import counter, import this, and you can just return counter of S, counter of T. That's it. Like that's this one liner for this question. And I hope like the reason why I did not like tell you this one liner right off the bat, or like just while we were understanding this problem, is mainly because I don't want you to memorize these types of one liners, because a lot of times you will find that it's just one line, you can memorize it, but I just wanted to make sure that you understand the intuition and even like figure out that why we actually were creating a hash map or a hash set at the first place. And I hope like this helps, and if there's anything that you would explicitly want me to do, please let me know in the comments below. Bye bye.